also export sailors. There is not a team at the America's Cup that doesn't have a New Zealander amongst them. Some of them, like Japan, at the most senior levels. Racing today, practice racing, very tense. A rare ending on the water into Bermuda has come at the worst time for Team New Zealand, with the America's Cup just a week away. The boat is looking good, but they need practice. The incident saw the British boat, skippered by Sir Ben Ainslie, mistime a turn and rear end the Team New Zealand boat, puncturing the cockpit near the steering wheel. Ben Ainslie described it as a love tap, but Team New Zealand wasn't that impressed. Boat repairs will take them off the water for at least a couple of days, and this is a key period. They should be really honing their act. Todd Harris is NBC's host for the 35th America's Cup.
I love that British take on it, a love tap. You know, any other time, John, I don't think it would be that big of a deal. It's practice. But I'll tell you what, when you're dealing with boats that are this expensive and there's this much on the line and there's a lot of pride, and I know Ben Ainslie, being an Olympic gold medalist, I'm sure he wants to show the world what he can do. But you know what? You don't run into the Kiwis. I mean, give them the space, give them respect. It's practice. This isn't the championship. It's practice. So I didn't see the need to push it like that. But, you know, I think the situation is, to be honest with you, John, it's like caged animals. They have been practicing for so long and in close quarters in Bermuda, and I think they're just ready to race. Yeah,
and also there's pressure on that British team, isn't there? Because they're not going fast enough to be real contenders, and so they are pushing it. Am I overstating the case there?
Yeah, no question. I think they're trying to find any edge possible. And I think that the real telltale sign is, you know, everyone knows what's at stake, and it's only every 4 years. So if you mess this up, and if you really, you know, do a poor job, you're going to have to live with it for 4 years. And I think that's something that no one wants to do, because let's be honest, a lot of money, a lot of time, and a lot of technology has been invested to what's going to happen in the next month.
Yes, people always talk about the money, and there is a school of thought in New Zealand that actually this has just become absurd, that way too much money is spent on the America's Cup. What are the big camps costing roughly, Todd?
Oh, you know, as far as U.S. dollars go, I think we're well past hundreds of millions of dollars. You know, that's my guesstimate. But you've got teams that are being brought in together. You've got people that are training those teams. You've got to house those teams, feed those teams. Then you've got the support group. And that's not even to bring in a fact on what it costs to build these boats. And almost every team has a boat and a backup boat, and there might even be a third boat waiting in the wings. So they've got to be prepared to go that whole month if they get to the end and they get to compete against Oracle Team USA for the Cup.
Yeah, and that's the fascinating thing, that the Louis Vuitton Cup eliminates everyone. And there's only one of these boats that's currently practicing is going to challenge for the America's Cup. Who do you think it is most likely to be, or are there 2 or 3 contenders at this stage?
Oh, that's a tough one. You know, if I was a betting man, I wouldn't bet against Oracle Team USA right now, just because I think they've got the momentum. I think they have certainly the money, and they have the experience, and they've been in tough battles before. I really like Emirates Team New Zealand. I think the crew that they put together and the youth that they have on that team is very strong. And, of course, let's not kid ourselves. They want payback.
Yeah, they do.
I think they remember what happened in San Francisco, and that's a proud nation down there. And I think they want payback. I mean, they were one race away from getting the America's Cup back to New Zealand, and it just didn't happen for whatever reason. So I think they're going to be extremely motivated. You know, a dark horse team, I take a look at Artemis. I like the way Artemis Racing goes out there, and I like the way they run their boats. So I think those are 3 teams to keep an eye on. But, you know, Dean Barker, you can't count him out. He's been in big situations before. So, you know, maybe a Frank Camas of France is also in the mix.
Gosh, it's exciting. Well, is it exciting? Is it because, boy, the America's Cup polarizes people like no other sporting event. I mean, if you love it, you love it. And if for a whole lot of people, and you and I, there will be emails coming in right now saying, oh, the bloody America's Cup, it's a whole lot of rich people wasting money. But actually, once it gets going, it is a fantastic event, isn't it?
Oh, no question about it. I mean, I think San Francisco taught us one thing, that you can teach anyone to love sailing. And with these new multi-holes and some of the maneuvers they can do in the water and the foiling and the technology, it's kind of become, as the kids in America say, it's kind of cool. And they like to watch it. And with the new technology that they implemented with the graphics on television, it makes it easy. And I think with Bermuda and San Francisco, it's that stadium setting. I mean, imagine yourself at a great stadium watching the Kiwis kick around the Wallabies or something. It's a great It's just a great venue, and I think people can really get caught up in it. And it's national pride on the line. And some great nations are putting up a lot of money to hopefully bring home the oldest trophy in international sport.
And one final point before you go, Todd, the speed. I mean, these guys, my brain can't really compute this on a logical level, but these guys are now doing 3 or 4 times the wind speed.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing? I mean, it's hard to fathom that, but technologically they make it happen. They found a way to foil, and they find a way to use that wind and get up to speed, as you said, 3 times what the wind is blowing, and I mean, they are absolutely flying. So I just think we're in for a great show from Bermuda. I say let the best team win, but honestly, I'd like to just see it go down to the very last race. I think that would be fantastic.
Todd Harris, who's hosting the Cup for America's NBC